Hey everybody, I'm Jesse and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about Lindsay Clancy. Lindsay Clancy. She strangled her kids about 3 years ago and she's just now coming up for trial. And there's a whole lot to unpack with this thing, with the whatever it's called, the postpartum depression thing, right? Why do women do that now? And me and my wife were talking about this. And in my opinion, this postpartum depression thing and all that, and these things happen because of society today. All right. We no longer live in a big house, several generations in a big house like the Waltons used to. You know, because if Lindsay Clancy had been surrounded by her family, by her grandmother and, some cousins and brothers and sisters and, it would be her brother's or her husband's family, right? Because back then you brought your wife home. So it would be her brother's family or her husband's family rather. And she'd be surrounded by those people. Dak, what's up, Dak? How's it going, buddy? Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Midnight Mechanic. I hope you appreciate that membership. That's a special one from the Dakmeister. Yeah. So back then, your grandma was out on the porch. You had brothers and sisters around, cousins or whatever, or in-laws in this case, and if you needed to take a break from the kids, then there was somebody around. Hey, sis, watch the kids for me for a couple hours. I need a break. I need some mental, so I'm exhausted. I need some mental clarity. I need to shut down for a few hours. Watch the kids, please. And she's right there, right? Everybody in households like that, you probably had one 18-year-old cousin or brother or sister or something who loved the kids and wanted to babysit them all the time. Can I watch the kid? Let me hold the baby, that kind of stuff, right? So you probably had someone begging you to take the kids off your hands in the Waltons kind of scenario. We don't have that anymore. That is gone. Everyone's living in these isolated little households, and we don't have that family support that we used to, right? That is gone. So now a single mother or a stay-at-home mom, she is just stuck with the kids 10 hours a day or whatever, depending on how much the husband works or whatever, by herself with no relief, no one to give her a break. And if she's going through some postpartum depression stuff, which I have no idea what that is or how it affects the mind or anything, but I can imagine that would be hard to do, and you could have a break from reality maybe, right? So, but that this lunatic strangling her own kids is not even the craziest shit to happen, right? It's Dak. Oh, you like the t-shirt? Conjunction junction. What's your function? Yeah, Dak. Thank you, buddy. But the craziest part is all the lunatic bitches out there in the parking lot of the courthouse defending her. That's what I can't believe. I don't know how many were out there or are out there, but they're out there protesting and shit, defending this woman who killed her own children. There is something definitely wrong there. Are all these bitches suffering from postpartum depression or whatever? You know what I mean? All these women, or are they just nuts? Okay? And if you've been with me for a while, watching for a while, I don't get into too much of the male, female thing, the man versus woman thing. It's just, we've been as human beings, we've been wrestling with that for millennia, literally thousands of years. They've written books on it. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We still don't get it, okay? We still have a hard time understanding each other. So I just don't get into it too much. I've managed to figure out how to live with my wife pretty comfortably and maintain our sanity. I figure that's about as good as I can get, right? But in this case, when this kind of shit happens, and I look at this shit, and I imagine in my head, what if that was a dude who killed his 3 kids? What if some man strangled his 3 kids? Would any man on the planet go and protest for leniency or clemency for this monster? And I'm not talking about women doing it. I'm not asking for women to do it. I'm talking about would men do it? And the answer is no. As a matter of fact, when he got to prison, his life expectancy would probably be in the seconds because men would kill him. He'd be lucky if all he ended up doing was washing Bubba's socks in the toilet, being Bubba's wife for the rest of his life. That would be the best he could hope for. Why weren't men, out there protesting and clamoring for leniency for Jeffrey Dahmer or any of these monsters we've seen locked up, Ted Bundy or anybody? It never happens, and it never will. So why are some of these women so damn crazy that and not all women by a long shot, but some of these women so damn crazy that they would go out there and try to defend someone who killed her own children for whatever reason. I don't give a shit. Postpartum, whatever. If she had medication, didn't have medication, none of that shit matters. She killed her own children. The only thing that upsets me about it is she's not swinging from a rope already. Right? So when I look at that and I see that, and I know for a fact, I would bet my left arm on it, that no man, not one single man, would go out there and protest for some stranger who had killed his own children. Matter of fact, he'd be lucky if some stranger didn't kill him on the way out of the courtroom, taking him back to jail, right? Or some family member or something, I just don't get it. I don't understand why women of a certain mindset or whatever, why they do this kind of stuff. I don't get it at all. It is just beyond me. And I asked my wife about it, and she says she doesn't understand either. I said, but you're a woman. If I can't ask you, then I can't ask him. She said, I don't know what's wrong with them crazy bitches, and I don't know. But I guess they replayed the 911 call in the courtroom, and the husband, she had sent the husband off to the store or whatever to get some milk, and when he was gone, she strangled the kids and then threw herself off a balcony, tried to kill herself but didn't do that. So he got back, found her laying in the yard, just injured, and called 911. And then while he was on the phone with 911, he discovered all 3 of his kids dead. And to me, that's just horrifying. But what's even more horrifying is society is to the point where any human being on this planet would go out there and protest for a child killer to get leniency. Anyone. Unless she is completely innocent, she should get no leniency. In my personal opinion. She shouldn't be breathing free air right now. She shouldn't be breathing air. She should be, she's on the wrong side of the grass right now, as far as I'm concerned. And call me what you want. Call me hard. Call me an asshole. Call me, a toxic masculine guy or whatever. Call me the patriarchy, whatever you want to call me. I don't give a shit. That is wrong. For that woman to be breathing right now is just flat wrong. And for women to be out there protesting, trying to get her leniency and get her off the hook, is even more wrong. And two wrongs have never made a right, not once. And this shit really boggles my mind. It really does. So, what do we got here? Z Question, Jeff 7, Winjo, Raziel, Arnis, Dog Karma, Ezekiel. Who else we got? Huh? Chidane, what's up, Chidane? Shannon. All right. So I'd like to hear from the women. What is your take on this? OG Tango, Crabman. What's up, fellas? Metal Gear. Dak, of course. All right. So, what do you women in the audience think? Dimu, what's up, Dimu? Are you digging that gift membership you got? Huh? I hope you enjoy it, man. I hope you appreciate it. In the past, I've been through extreme psychosis with very negative, intrusive thoughts, including killing my horrible neighbors. I'm glad I didn't carry it out. I'm in a totally different place now. That's awesome, Dimu. Seriously, dude, that's awesome. And I think that it's not unheard of for people to go through stuff like that, Dimu. But we're lacking the family support structure that we used to have to help us get through it, right? I go back to the Crocodile Dundee when, she's explaining to him what a therapist is, and he asked her, doesn't he have any mates? That's what mates are for. That's what what your family and your friends are for. The hell you need a damn psychologist. If a man had a brain injury and it overrode his brain and caused him to think that the only way to protect his children from a fate worse than death, then yeah, I think he needed to be put in psych. Yeah, we can debate on the death penalty, we can talk about that, whether the death penalty should be, and that's neither here nor there in my opinion. We can all have our differing opinions on whether the death penalty is right and good or whether it's just wrong. Okay? And nobody's really going to change anybody else's mind on that. Okay? I understand that. Now, but I'll explain myself personally on the death penalty. I think it's wrong to have people who are danger to society and just, of course, screwed up in the head and dangerous to society, and they've already committed murder or something, and have them in a prison and having the taxpayers pay for them to keep them alive for the rest of their lives. And I could imagine that prison, what kind of life are you going to have in prison? I don't know. I wouldn't want to do life in prison. But of course, the prison industry doesn't want the death penalty, right? The privately owned corporate prison industry, they want you to spend your life in prison so that they can milk the taxpayers for a lifetime, right? They don't want you to just pull the plug on somebody and get them out of the way. But I personally, I think the death penalty, I agree with it personally. I don't know. She's in Massachusetts. I don't know if Massachusetts has the death penalty or not. I personally hope they do, but whatever. If they don't, it's no skin off my nose. She'll spend the rest of her life in prison. But I think that they should just put these people out of their misery. And I know a lot of y'all probably don't want to hear that, but it's just the way I feel. I don't value their lives, the life of a child killer, and I don't care why they did it, whether a brain injury or a mental disability or some kind of postpartum depression or PTSD or medication, coming off of medication or on some weird medication. If the doctor messed up their medication, I don't care. I'm sorry. I just don't care. If you kill children, you got to go. Bye-bye. If you hurt children, I would make it to where if you rape or brutalize children in any way, right, it would be the death penalty. And I know that, and again, I know that's harsh. That sounds harsh to a lot of people, but that's the way it would be. That's why I'm not king of the world. Because all people that hurt children, I mean, excessively, rape or murder or stuff like that, they'd all be dead, right? I'd be rounding up Epstein visitors left and right. And we'd just have a long row of big oak trees and hemp, the hemp industry, the stocks would skyrocket because we'd be going through hemp left and right. That's in my opinion. Great minds think alike. Winjoe. Winjoe? Where's Winjoe? Reminds me of Euripides' play of Medea, who killed her children to inflict agony upon Jason for infidelity. Why do people kill other people for any reason? The first wars were holy wars. Make asylums great again. Ads Factor. What's up, ads? Wood chipper. You live in Massachusetts and heard nothing about this. I live under a rock, I guess. OG. Yeah. Long hair is not a gender thing. It's a cultural for natives and musicians as well as many other places. Yeah, I mean, long hair... that's got nothing to do with anything, how long your hair is. My hair was long at one time in my mid-20s, right after I got out of the Army. I was so tired of cutting my hair that I just grew it long, about the middle of my back. That would drop the population, yeah. Millstone, then wood chipper. If it wasn't for my grandparents, there was a chance my mother might have killed me. Oh, yeah. See, that, again, family. Family stopped it. I have short hair for cultural, too. Not no Nazi shit, though. I have short hair just because it's easier to take care of. I had long hair for a while, and I just got tired of taking care of that shit, washing it all. If you kill anyone with malicious intent, then yes, I would agree. Okay, Chidane. Dimu, 3 child killers here in UK. Prisons have been unalive. Prisons have been unalived by other prisoners. They all have a target and bounty on them from the moment they enter the prison system. We need to make accountability great again. Yeah, Zeke. Yeah. Arnest, once these people get to prison, the prisoners do the justice on them as long as they go to general population. Yeah, I'm sure they do in men's prisons. And in a case like this, where a woman killed her own children, the moms in there who are in there missing their children might be even harder on her than men would be on a man in a men's prison. They might be really hard on her. All the moms in there missing their kids and shit, Yeah, I wouldn't want to be her, but they'll probably keep her in what's that called? Whatever, isolation or whatever. In a room by herself for the rest of her life. I'm a multiple time 5150, and if I would have killed anyone in psychosis, I would have deserved the death penalty. Rex Chaoticus. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Rex, and I agree. If it was me, I wouldn't have, I would be asking for the death penalty. And that's the crazy thing. I've heard that they don't let you, or most states anyway, they don't let you just accept the death penalty. Even in the states that have the death penalty, they don't let you just accept it. They force you to, appeal. They force you to appeal it and fight it for like 10 years, 20 years or something. That's why it takes so long for these people to finally get to death row, finally get to the electrocution chair or whatever it is. It's because the state forces you to appeal. If people had their way, a lot of them would probably just say, okay, take me right there, right out of the courtroom. Just take me over there. You found me guilty. I did it. Let's get it over with. Some of them, at least, I would think. I know that's what I would do that. I wouldn't want to sit in a cell for 10 damn years. We need to make old school MTV great again. I agree. For a long time, traders would grow their hair until they were forced to declare bankruptcy and were shorn. That's why making a bad business deal is still called taking a haircut. Oh, okay. Long hair was like having good credit score. No shit. That's interesting. Samson's power was in his hair. Where, shocker, a woman, Delilah, made him cut it. Funny how criminals carry out the true justice. Yeah, Arnis, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? Jeff 7, had hair down to my bum when I went to the Bad Apple. Berkowitz convinced me to get a haircut. Chidane, they'll figure her out real fast, and if she isn't authentic, then yeah, she's going to be unalived in a horrific way. Dog Karma, are the tees advertised from your merch line? Oh yeah. Yes, actually they are. Dog Karma. I don't see them. I can't see them. So yeah, where I usually have wherever it is, the wizard staff and stuff, they started letting us put our own stuff on there, or I just figured it out maybe, I don't know. But that's my stuff down there. The t-shirts that I wear here a lot of times. And the one that's on the thumbnail, yeah. My first big fight, a brawl, my long hair got me taken over and my ass got beat. Cut it the next day and haven't looked back. Yeah. Keep it well shorn. It's hard to grab a hold of a smooth head, huh, Arnis? I bet $1 million she won't get death, but will get life. Eligible for parole in 20 years. No, that's probably what's going to happen, especially with all them crazy women out there protesting. Yeah. MTV needs to only play music again, OG. I agree, yeah. They should. It could be like China, where they just pull up to our house with a van. Yeah, and speaking of China, does anybody ever you think about the fact that China has never been in a war in our lifetimes? And they have caught up to and surpassed us in many, many ways. Manufacturing, technology, all this different stuff. Because they have put all of their money into infrastructure and technology where we are spending it on war. How can China not be at war for the last 55 years of my lifetime that I know of? 55 years they haven't been at war. It's longer than that, but just in my lifetime that I know of. How can China do that when America can't? It just makes you think. America just cannot stay out of war. But China, somehow, they figured it out. Somehow China is just, they just don't fight in wars. It's just crazy to me how a superpower like that can just stay out of wars. In over 2000, we have come no closer to resolving the problem of evil or understanding the type of beings we are. If anything, we have devolved in our understanding of ourselves. Yeah, yep. And all this mental health bullshit. Little kids, 5, 6 years old, are already on these psychotropic medications. Little kids. Because they can't sit still or whatever, because they get bored easy, because they throw a fit, because their parents are lazy. More like, you know what I'm saying? That shit upsets me too. Roz, honestly, if I killed a kid, even by accident, I would want to be hanged immediately in front of the courthouse. Who could live with the knowledge they did that? Yeah, me too, Roz. That's why she tried to kill herself. But she should have just done that instead of harming the kids. She should have just flung herself off the balcony without harming the kids. Right? She could have just waited, took care of the kids until her husband came home. And as she saw him coming down the road, she could have just flung herself off the balcony. Or whatever, you know. She could have offed herself somehow. Don't read Jesse, Samson, and Delilah. If I had my way, I'd tear this whole building down. Dog Karma! Double boom! All right, Dog Karma, thank you so much. 5. Shoddy Boom Body. Citrus. Joe from Ohio. Sergeant America. 16 Romeo Vet. All of y'all, congratulations. Yeah, congratulations on the gift membership. And you can thank Dog Karma for that. That's a special gift membership there. Illustrious in the way that the illustrious DAC gift membership is. Postpartum psychosis. Sarah Faraka. What's up, Sarah? China's infrastructure is cheap, though. Yeah, everything coming out of China is cheap, in my opinion. But yeah, you're right. I assume their roads and bridges and shit are about the same, huh, Shannon? I would assume. I've never been over there. But yeah, I would agree with you. Let me get rid of this boom here. I would agree with you. China hasn't been in a kinetic war in our lifetime, but they are in a financial one, which almost always leads to the kinetic, but only time will tell. Sarah, post-parliament psychosis. Crabman, school was way too boring. I looked out windows, dreaming of hunting and fishing 90% of the time in class. Yeah, that was me too, Crabman. I just couldn't stand that shit. I'll be honest with you. By the time I got into middle school, I liked, I remember elementary school. And I would, have fun in school. But by the time I got into middle school and stuff, I despised it. I just wanted to be out in the woods. Chris Rainey, what's up, Chris? Glad to see you here. Jimmy Boyles. How's it going, Jimmy? It's more expensive, but of higher quality. Have you seen the Chinese robot Olympic Games? Fascinating. No, Dimmu. I haven't watched it in totality, but I've read articles about it and seen still images of it. Yeah, that is fascinating. I believe we are actually seeing the rise of the East and the fall of the West. The dollar shows it. Yeah. I think you're right, Arnis. The only shitty part about it is that they could have prevented it. They could have. They didn't have to give up everything. They could have, just met everybody as equals and kept peaceful and kept fair trade. But they let the scumbag globalists get in charge of everything, and they've destroyed everything from our point of view. From their point of view, they've made everything 100 times better. They're 100 times richer. They have 100 times more power and control. Yes, of course, it's wonderful for them, but for us, it sucks. There is no justice. There is, there's no equality. There's no peace. There's no prosperity. For the common person down here on the ground, it sucks. It seems like everything is broken. The system is damaged or something. When in reality, it's absolutely running perfectly as designed. The only things here made in the USA are crappy Teslas. Yeah. Chinese robots are all remote controlled. I didn't know that. They're not controlling themselves. The AI is not in there controlling it. That's surprising. I thought they'd have AI in there. Teslas used to be made in China. Well, they are still, but the ones made in China are for China. They built one of those gigafactories, Jadane, over there, and they still make them. But they make the ones in China, they sell to China, to the Chinese, and to the other Asian countries. The ones they sell here in America are made in America. I remember it's about 8 to 10 years ago when they opened that gigafactory in China. Something like that. Why are robots in the Olympics? Literally makes 0 sense to me. Yeah, it's just stupid. Who cares if a robot can run faster than another robot? There's no strength or endurance or willpower there. There's no, years of training and effort there. There's no, the robots don't deserve to be celebrated in any way. It's just stupid, right? Miss America made stuff. I miss American made stuff. It's been so long since seeing anything made here. Yeah, Crab Man. I agree, dude. It's horrible. Fear the robots and the government. Big country. I agree with you, buddy. I have a Chop Chop custom amplifier made right across the river from me in Covington, Kentucky. All right, Jeff7, that's cool. I still have the snap-on tools from my mechanic days. They were very good quality and I love them. Dimmu. Yeah. Back, a lot of stuff that was made in America 20, 30, 40 years ago still exists today because that was why it was made, to exist. To last a long time. Now the shit is made to break within 5 years. It's planned obsolescence. Jadane, Tesla's manufacturing operations in China are centered at Gigafactory Shanghai, which produces Model 3 and Model Y vehicles, opened in late 2019. Okay, so 7 years ago. It is Tesla's first wholly owned factory outside the US. I just heard they had like 3 million Teslas recalled over there in China, Jadane. Yeah, the largest recall ever done in the history of the Chinese over there. 3 million of them got recalled for some kind of safety thing. The robots work on hydraulics and step motors. So how can they be considered athletes? No idea. It's ridiculous. Oh, wait. They want us to see them as humans. Yeah. Excuse me. Roz, I'm half considering ordering a Chinese companion robot, having Wirehead help me put a sandbox and jailbroken AI in it. I love you gals, but frankly, you're kind of mean and exhausting. Yeah, I don't know. I've not, I don't know. I don't know if I would consider a robot. I would be tickled shitless if the U.S. made 3/4 ton truck with no tech on it for less than 30 grand. Oh yeah, Crab Man. Yeah, roll up windows. Yeah. Key entry, all that keyless bullshit. Keyless entry. Give me a key. I want a key. I'll enter it with a key. All that bullshit in it. I want almost zero tech in mine. The only technology that I think they need is whatever fit, no computer chips and shit, just whatever technology we have, physical technology to make it run more efficient and get better gas mileage. You nailed it, Arnis. If we don't consider them human, we won't ever give them their well-earned rights. Yeah. Yeah, they'll be, well, you see this. You see these women up here protesting and demanding, leniency and clemency for this child murderer. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard? An admitted child murderer. She did it. Her husband knows she did it. She knows she did it. The judge knows she did it. The jury knows she did it. Both lawyers know she did it. And everybody who's following the case at all knows she did it. And they're out there protesting, demanding leniency and clemency for this lunatic. Okay, so fast forward in 20 years, they'll be protesting and demanding robots have rights. Yep. You'll be an anti-robot, right? If you think that robots shouldn't have the same rights as human beings, they'll be out there protesting you and calling you a Nazi and all kinds of shit because you think that robots shouldn't have the same rights and liberties as flesh and blood human beings. And there will be fools out there hating you because you won't admit that robot is a human. It's coming. It's coming. It would be interesting to see if China follows Japan's rapid rise and fall in the 80s, or will be able to avoid the pitfalls and rise as the financial center of the deglobalized world. Maybe you can marry a robot. I don't care. I'm staying Gen X for life. Yeah. The cat distribution system is 24/7. Hey, there he is. What do you think, Wirehead? Can you help me retrofit a robot with a jailbroken AI so I can stop wasting my time trying to go on dates? I'm racist against robots. Gonna start making up jokes about them. Yeah. We're not that stupid here. Dim you. What's up, Wirehead? Sneaking in here on us, buddy. John. Hey, John. Glad to see you here, man. Now, Arnis is racist too, against robots. You anti-robots? Oh, yeah, today, while I'm thinking about it, cha-ching. This is what is going to be given away today, everyone. So stick around to the end of the show if you want one. If you don't want one, then you can check out whenever the hell you want. But if you want a shirt, then you're going to have to stick around. The apocalypse wouldn't set me back too far. That's one of my favorite shirts. That's why I picked this one. All right. So for those of you who are going to stick around for the trivia, we're just going to answer one trivia question. If you the first one to answer it correctly, then you win. And you win a shirt. That's all you got to do. And you got to be 18, at least 18, right? And you win a shirt. That's it. YouTube has no affiliation with the thing, with the contest. The rules are down in the description of this video. So if you want to go check out the rules. But basically the rules are answer the damn question and you get a free shirt. If you don't want to give me your address, if you're, which is fine, if you don't want to be handing out your address to strangers, then don't answer the damn question. Okay? Don't answer the question, then say you don't want to give me your address. That don't make no damn sense. So if you don't want to give me your address, then don't answer the question and let somebody else get it. But I've already given away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these now. And I haven't stalked any of the winners. Well, I stalked Wirehead a little bit, but that's different, That was different. I'm just kidding. I didn't stalk Wirehead. But, yeah. So if you don't want to give me your address, then don't answer the question. Basically, that's it. And there's some more rules, but they're just follow the link if you want to know. It's just a bunch of shit that YouTube makes me say. I just want to ask a trivia question and send somebody a shirt. All that other shit is Google's or YouTube's crap. All right. And that'll happen right at the end of the show. That'll be the last thing we do. Cope Dog, what's up, Cope Dog? You don't have any robots? Can you just kick your hubby's Xbox? I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't kick his Xbox. If he's anything like me, yeah, no, he'll get mad about that. He won't talk to you for a week, maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, you'd be sleeping in a doghouse, Jadane. You'd kick his Xbox. If my wife come in here and kicked my PC right now, you know how mad I'd be? Holy shit. Yeah. Damn. I don't even know what I would do. I don't even know how to get back at her. I couldn't go break her shit in retribution, because that would just cost us more money. I don't even know what I would do. I wouldn't talk to her. I'd just be mad at her for a couple weeks. Yeah. What happens if the winner is homeless? Then the winner is wrong, because if you don't have a damn address for me to send it to, then you shouldn't be answering the damn question. And if you do answer the question, then have it sent to the homeless shelter or something. You got to have the address to the homeless shelter, or get it, what's it called? General delivery. Just go have it sent to the general delivery, the nearest post office. That used to be a normal thing, general delivery. But now people have forgotten even what the hell that means. You can stop by anytime, Jesse. The water's fine. Yeah, dude. All right. Where? Let me see. What's up? Who? What? Addictomy. I don't know what the hell that means. Tank girl. Yeah. It's a high of 111 today, Chidane. Holy shit. Is that the heat index? Or is that just a damn temperature? Pretty sure ain't nobody willingly driving here to stalk me. Hell no. Yeah, it's hot enough here. We got a heat index of like 111, you know, when they factor in all the humidity and stuff. No, nobody's going to go to 111 degree temperature and to stalk anyone. My first wife died 20 years ago today. I have no doubt she sent this kitten to me. All right, John, I'm sure you miss her, buddy. And my condolences, man. Even though it was 20 years ago, I know it must still hurt. What is the most common pickup line in a gay bar? I don't know. Damn, I bet that's going to be funny, though. I can't think of anything, Coke Dog. I just came up with the most diabolical things you can do with an electric bubble fan gun that involves farts. Oh, shit. P.O. Box. Yeah, P.O. Box, my guy. Yeah. Send it to General Mail in the town you're in, Chidane. Can't get a P.O. Box. Yeah, you have to have a lease in Florida, too. Now you've got everybody thinking you're homeless, Arnis. You've got everybody thinking you're living under a bridge, dude. Because you said that shit. Jimmy Boyles, what's up, Jimmy Boyles? We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. You damn right we don't. Disaster Piece Theater. All right. Do public phone booths still exist? Maybe somewhere. I haven't seen one in a long time. Disaster Piece. I mean, a long time, dude. Maybe in places like bus stops or airports or something. It's just the damn temperature, not even heat index and shit. That's hot. Yeah, that's hot. I lived in Arizona for a little while, Chidane. Z question, 111 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. That's insane, dude. I thought I saw Jesse looking in my window last night. Don't give him your address. Yeah. Yeah, well, Arnis was actually stalking me. And because I know it, because I followed him home and he stalked me all the way to his house. Yeah. He was stalking me while he took a shower. I was watching him through his window as he was showering and watching him stalk me. That Arnis is a weird cat, dude. Yeah, stalking me all over the place. I don't know what's wrong with him. Yep. Yeah, and I saw him. I got proof. I got video proof of him stalking me. Yeah. He's stalking me like this. I got video proof on my phone. So in case when I go to do the, what's that called? Restraining order. When I get a restraining order on him, I got video to show the judge of his weird ass stalking me. Might stalk the ice cream truck on super hot days. Yeah, crap, man. It's rained all weekend here, but at least the temperature is cooling off. Shannon, yeah, it's rained here too. It's like a relief when it rains in the summer here. Sometime, if it rains good and stays overcast for a little while. Now, on the average summer, this is a not so average summer, an atypical summer because of the El Nino, right? But the average summer, it'll just rain for 20, 30 minutes every single afternoon around 3 o'clock. It'll just pour down heavy for about 30 minutes and then the clouds will go away and then the sun will come back out and you can see the steam rising up off the pavement and stuff. Yeah, that's miserable shit. But when it comes in and rains like it has the last couple of weeks, clouds actually sit in for a while. That's relief. Yeah, I like it. Raziel, no, I'm the one that's technically homeless. I mean, I got a camper and shit, but not a mailing address. Well, they've got a thing Roz, now where you can just buy an address. Like if I have a shoe store, I can join this company online and just put my address up there, and they'll rent out my address to people, and I'll get a cut of the money, right? So people can claim my shoe store as a physical permanent address, and then they'll deliver mail there. You can do that, and actually get packages and shit sent, But you might have to, I don't know if you can change the address around. Like you can find one on the map, right? In the town you're going to, if you know you're going to be there for a few weeks. Somehow the homeless always have drugs. Arnis, yeah. That's because they have priorities today. They got their priorities lined up. Arnis, they have their priorities straight, Shadane says. Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm thinking of the shower scene in Psycho. We got hobos with electric bikes charging up in the public bathrooms. I won't be surprised if you hook up into a Tesla port. If you see, hook into a Tesla port. Dimu, we're coming out of a 2-month heat wave here. Everything is burnt and brown and crispy. Sleeping virtually non-existent. Get back to normal temps soon. Yeah, now. Get back to normal temps now. Oh, Jesse, I took my lunch on the floorboard of the truck. On the floorboard of the truck. Oh, you cook your lunch on the floorboard of the truck. My town is going to be big sad when I roll out. I know how it sounds, but I control the weather here. No, that doesn't sound crazy at all, Roz. YouTube won't let you post a punchline, Coke Dog? That's messed up, dude. The sun has went from yellow to white and now turning blue. Soon it will burn everything up. Lasers aren't the only good reason to paint your roof blue. Here the humidity is always high, so it always reaches dew point overnight. The grass will be wet, steaming in the morning yeah, same here, Shannon. There are remailer shops that will forward packages to different locations when you're moving around. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I lived in an RV for a few years and had a P.O. box since I worked for the P.O. Okay, Crabman. Well, you can also do the thing like have them delivered to USPS drop points, and there's mailboxes, etc. Okay, Roz. Oh, did I miss Cope's answer? I gotta try to find it. Give me a second here. I gotta scroll back up and try to find Cope's answer. His punchline. Still can't find it. Oh. No, I missed it. I don't see it. I don't see Cope's punchline. Yeah, Cope, but I saw you asked John. Yeah, John's link is in the description of this channel. Electric Camel, what's up, Electric? Glad to see you here, buddy. I'll probably get documentation in South Dakota. They're good like that for stuff like vehicle registration. Okay. Drop ship, Z? I've heard of that before, but I'm not real sure what it is. Oh, gee, the spectrum of the sun changes every season. Blue to red, but we only see white, not blue. We just started getting dew in the morning again. Colorado has been hot and drier than normal. Yeah, this damn El Nino has got the weather all messed up. The sun also has a northern point and a southern point and a center point. And the sun travels from south to north and back again, resting at the center winter and summer solstice. Yeah, OG. Bedtime at 5 p.m., Cope Dog? Yeah, John, global warming and climate change. Yeah. We have had over 40 inches of rain so far this year. Being an El Nino winter, we will get a ton of snow this winter. Yeah, we're supposed to get a ton of rain. Normally, winter is our dry season, Shannon. But we're supposed to get a ton of rain this winter because of the El Nino. We'll see if it happens, but if you stare at the sun, it gives you supervision. That's why they tell you not to look at the sun. You're gonna cause a bunch of blind people, Arnis, who believe that shit. Arnis' eyes sometimes have an extra set of color receptors. We see the blue when the sun changes. They do make a robot camel called the AT-AT. You get up at midnight, Cope Dog? That's crazy, dude. Ah, snap, When Joe. Were you there in the lives? That series was phenomenal. My mom called as soon as last night started through the duration, so I watched it after. Peak J Dreamers. Dreamer Z. Hoping for an intense long winter. Yes, me too. But it won't happen. I wish it would. I wish winter would start in, early October, mid-October. We got smoked last winter. 2 or 3 footers, really, OG? Sun will turn into a white giant and envelop the planets in a few billion years. Dim you. I thought it was a red giant and a white dwarf. Dim you. I watched live and then again after. That kid is really something. Oh, that Dreamer Z. Y'all better pray that I have been if we get snowed in. After I stare at the sun, I accidentally hit mailboxes and power poles. Crap, man. You haven't had a real winter in 2 years, Arnis? Red dwarf. Okay, dim you. All right. You had rain, now you got sun, OG. I never did get to see Cope Dog's answer. I'll have to go back and look for it after the live stream. Shelly, what's up, Shelly? You guys can have that long winter. Just keep it away from me. I'm not ready for a lot of cold and snow again. Shit, I'd wish I'm even a little bit of cold. One flake of snow, I'd be happy. Anything. Yeah, to get over this damn summer. See, that's the thing. Down here in Florida, it's our summers that are long and miserable. Up north, it's the winters that are long and miserable. So we each wish we had the other one, the other one's circumstances. But these summers are long, miserable sons of bitches down here in Florida. Nuclear winter doesn't sound so bad anymore, Camel. Yeah, not to me it don't. I watched Akira, the Dawn's Meaning Wave live stream last night, and then my other somewhat less Christian cruise because I had to chat up my gal Ray. Okay. The last few winters have been good for snow. Got some good use from snowmobile. I've never have ridden a snowmobile. When Joe wrote a poem called Nuclear Winter, Melt Your Children. That's messed up. She went to travel and have fires every night, so why not? Winters are wetter and summers are hotter and drier. Next summer is predicted to be even worse than this year. No shit, Dimu. Winter there is 80, 85. Yeah, that's us too. Grew up in snow and just think it's weird when there's no snow. Wirehead. Yeah, well, down here, snow is weird. You know, that's the weird thing. If you get snow, which we never have, but up north in northern Florida, they get snow once in a while up there. Patrolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter. AOL's dial-up service ended on September 30th, 2025. No shit. Plants will die first in nuclear winter, then it's us. Usually our August is the driest month, but it still keeps raining this year. Shannon. Yeah, well, we're pretty humid and wet all through the summer. Raziel wrote a short story in high school called The Hall Monitor that ended up being the script for Columbine. I was not amused. I was looking forward to the Mad Max kind of apocalypse, and we got 2020. Yeah. September is your month in New England, OG. All right. Last winter was downright balmy in Wyoming. Less than an inch all winter long. Y'all need some argon generators? Yeah, the same winter as us. I think it only snowed twice on the Front Range. No shit. Jaws just started on TV. I'm watching for the 100th time, as is the one of my all-time favorite films. Dimu, yeah, I just watched Jaws before I came in here, dude. Just watched it, Dimu. They've got such great writing. That thing is so well written. One of my favorite lines in that is when the captain, what's his name? Shit, now I forgot his name. I was just thinking about it earlier. Anyway, when the actor, the scientist guy, he starts getting his cage out and assembling his cage, and the captain says to him, or asked him, he said, "You get in that cage?" And damn, his name's on the tip of my tongue. And the guy says, "Yeah." And then the captain says, "And the cage go in the water?" And the guy says, "Yeah." And he says, and the captain says, "And the shark's in the water?" The guy says, "Yeah." And then the captain starts singing, "Farewell and adieu, my fair Spanish lady. Farewell and adieu, my lady of Spain." That's one of the best scenes in any movie. There are two really good scenes. That one, well, there's a bunch of them, but my two favorites anyway, for me, that scene, and then the one down in the hold of the ship, you know, the boat, when he tells the story about the SS in Indianapolis. That's a bad... Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah, Wirehead. Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss. That's his name. I loved him in What About Bob? And Close Encounters. Yeah, I used to like Richard Dreyfuss as an actor. I don't know how his... that was back when... He was popular back when they just kept their damn mouths shut, you know? So he could be a complete lunatic and nobody'd ever know it because he just kept his damn mouth shut. Yeah, I still love that movie, though, John. I still love that movie, dude. Just a great movie. I watch it like probably 6 times a year, maybe more. Dimu said he's watched it 100 times. I bet I've seen it. I don't know if I've seen it 100 times. But I watch it pretty damn often. The Soul Transfer Protocol. What's up, Protocol? Greetings from California. All right, we don't get too many Californians, Protocol. All right, good to see ya. Yeah, glad you could make it. Your spelling is getting better, OG. Can't take the teacher out of Wenjo. Yeah. Can't take the teacher out of Wenjo. My poem was about child abuse, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be the one in jail, but my dad might. All right. Yeah, my dad would definitely be in jail if he pulled the same shit today. Jaws 1 and 2 was playing all day last Sunday on AMC. No shit, RR. I saw Jaws 2. I've never seen the third one, the Jaws 3D. I saw Jaws 2, but I don't really remember it too much. It can't be as good. So, I never, I don't know if I even paid much attention to it when it was on. Probably rented it on VHS or something back in the day, but I don't really even remember much of it. Yeah, plenty of footage of past stuff. Awesome vehicles. Wayne Beatty, what's up, Wayne? All right. Tommy. Alice in Chains, Man in the Box, just re-entered the Billboard rock charts in August. No shit, dude. That's a badass song, man. One of my favorite, Alice in Chains was my favorite band for a while, and they're still in my top 3. Yeah. That Man in the Box is one of the best songs ever, in my opinion. I love that damn song. Arnis, I saw Jaws and Piranha 2 as a double feature at the drive-in when I was 5. Messed you up. Yeah, I forget how old I was when I saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw Jaws at the theater, though, at the drive-in theater. Dreyfuss was good in Down and Out in Beverly Hills. So was Nick Nolte and Beth Midler. RR, yeah. You can watch it at least once a week. I like that. I also like The Shining. Dimu. The one with Jack Nicholson. That's badass. Some of those horror movies back then. The Exorcist, the first Exorcist. I don't know if I've seen some horror movies, some of the new horror movies, and even with the better technology and stuff, they can make stuff scarier and shit. But I don't know that they've ever been able to even beat or even catch up to or equal movies like Alien, The Shining, Carrie, this kind of stuff, right? They just never have. There's some that have been okay. A Quiet Place. What's the one where the blind guy has the young kids trapped in the basement, and he locks the door, and they're in the dark, and he's going around, see something about see. That one's pretty decent, but still, they're not alien. And even that shit, what's the shit with the little girl with the long dark hair? I forget the name of that one. Then the circle and stuff. Those are okay. They're all right. But still, they're not alien. They're not The Shining. That shit was badass. Shannon, my kids will sometimes want to watch VHS tapes on the basement TV. It has a built-in VHS player. No shit. That's awesome, Shannon. That's pretty damn cool. They didn't arrest Reich because it didn't work. What about Bob? Yeah, it's death therapy, Bob. Baby steps. Remember that one, Joe? Yeah, it's death therapy, Bob. Holy shit, that was funny as hell. The Shining scared you too, didn't you? Yeah, scared the piss out of me. Dead Wolf, what's up, Dead Wolf? Ooh! Yeah. Disaster Piece. The song has already had over 690 million Spotify streams and remains Alice in Chains' biggest track by a wide margin. That's just a badass song, dude. They had a bunch of good songs, though. Alice in Chains was just an awesome band. I saw Jaws 3 in theaters with the 3D glasses. That would be awesome. Yeah. Danny Copeman. Greetings from Montreal, Canada. We love Canada. I will never stop speaking my mind. Screw the libtards. Jaws isn't as good as the original, but the best of sequels and not a bad sequel. Okay. I'm a victim of top chat or what? I'm not seeing all these new people. OG Tango's got number 2. I don't see who's won yet. License to Drive, that was a good one. Oh, Raziel's number 1. Raziel, snatch that crown. So give me that number 1 crown. Shining really scared me as a kid. Good time, yeah. Dimmu, that Shining was badass, dude. It still is. I watch it. I have it on DVD. That shit's badass. Raziel, I don't know what people think med beds are, but I can do that with a monocord table and applied light therapy, like laying on a droning table under a tanning light. All right. Crabman, love The Shining. Nicholas was priceless. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was just an amazing movie. Here's Johnny. You loved it too, Chidane? Yeah, I did too. Very few of those movies were really genuinely scary, frightening in that way, you know. They had the slasher movies, you know, Jason and Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that, right? And those were kind of scary. They were more gory and scary in their own way. Then they had the kind of movies like Freddy Krueger, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. And they were kind of scary too. But the truly, deeply frightening ones, Poltergeist, The Exorcist, The Shining, Jaws, these movies, and they just don't make them anymore. They don't make them like that. Who makes a horror movie about a priest going around exorcising demons? Who makes a horror movie out of a fish? Who makes a horror movie out of an alien? Aliens are supposed to be sci-fi movies and not horror movies, not truly deeply disturbing horror movies. It was badass. But they just don't do that shit anymore. When's the last really truly scary movie like on the level of Alien or Poltergeist, right? When's the last one? Halloween? Yeah, there was one. OG, one of the slasher films. Not really scary on the same level as Exorcist or Alien, but still, scary in its own way. Children of the Attic, when, Joe? This is Sparta. Love that movie. Yeah, I love that movie. 300. And I love that history tale. The Battle of Thermopylae. Yeah, I love that story too. It's just badass. Yeah. Did you see the episode of Mr. Rogers where he reached into the closet and accidentally grabbed the Freddy Krueger sweater? No, I didn't see that one, Jeff. Natural Born Killers was badass. Wayne Beatty, what's up, Wayne? E-Fog, there he is. How's it going, E-Fog? Yeah, Poltergeist was awesome, didn't you? They're here. Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street, the first few were good. First horror movie I ever saw was the Poltergeist when they were little. Messed my shit right up. Yeah, those are the good ones, E-Fog. The ones when you're too young to watch, you really shouldn't be watching them, but you're watching them anyway. And then afterward, you're disturbed, right? After watching Jaws, you didn't go swimming. You watch Jaws when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you ain't getting in the damn water. I didn't want to get in the bathtub after watching Jaws. I was scared to death of water. Yeah. And that's just straight up honesty. I remember I was scared to get in the damn bathtub. Little kid's mind. I didn't understand. Wayne, yeah, Natural Born Killers. That was a good one, Wayne. Great movie. What's his name? Robert Downey Jr. and Woody Harrelson. Great movie, yeah. Come by my antics. Oh, I come by my antics honestly. My Uncle Edward was sentenced to prison for curing type of cancer that affected my family and fled to Hot Springs, Alaska to get away from the shitheads in Wisconsin. You got all their greatest hits, Dead Wolf? 1959 Plymouth Fury horror movie, anyone? Yeah. They do have Sharknado today. It could happen in Florida, I guess. Yeah, yeah, you're probably right. Technically, it probably could happen. We're going to need a bigger boat. Yeah, Crab Man. I love that movie, dude. Then he asked him afterwards, you going to get a bigger boat? When he has him fire up the engine and shit. The sheriff asked him, we going back to get a bigger boat or something like that? Are you going to get a bigger boat? Yeah. Children of the Corn is a little too close to home in western Missouri. Is that M.O.? Is that Missouri? Is cult-like in some counties. No shit. I think the only two that came close to making me nervous were Event Horizon. That's another good one, dude. Event Horizon is truly twisted. That shit is twisted. Yeah, I just watched that one a few days ago. Roz, yeah, that's a twisted ass movie. That's a weird ass movie. I like that one. I like horror movies. Good psychological horror movies. Not so much the slasher shit, right? Like the Halloween and the Nightmare on Elm Street. They're okay, but I'm not in love with them. But a good, honest to goodness horror movie? Oh yeah, I'm down with that shit. Hellraiser. Yeah. And do y'all remember Y'all remember Nightbreed? Y'all, do you? You remember Nightbreed? That was a damn good movie too. All the like demonic people living underground and shit. That was pretty cool. Damn, now I got to play to go kayaking. Dead Wolf. Mike, what's up? My boy Mike Fleisner, what's up, dude? I had a toy shark in my bathtub. Hell no. I wouldn't have gotten that. No. Not me. The first horror movie I saw was at the drive-in Friday the 13th. No shit. Yeah, the first one I saw was Jaws in the movie theater, or in the drive-in. Yeah. Robert, what's up, Robert? Yeah, sharks, shower, and bath. Thing, that's another good one. Z, I was just watching that earlier today. Z, yeah, I had to pause it. I didn't even really get to start watching it because I had to get up as soon as I hit play. Got up and had to do stuff, and I have to rewind it and start watching it as soon as I'm done here. That's what I'm going to do this evening. Watch The Thing, dude. That is a badass horror movie. Yeah, that's kick-ass. That's one of my favorites too. That one will freak your shit. Yeah. You're 5 years old. You watch The Thing and see if you don't lose your shit. Fright Night is a classic. Yeah, RR. That's a really good. Is that a horror movie really, RR? Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, that's just a really good movie. However it's classified, RR. Yeah, that's one of my favorites from back then. It's just a really good movie, dude. Yeah, Event Horizon was a trip, Robert. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, RR, one of Carpenter's finest films. He had to turn off The Hills Have Eyes. See, I haven't seen those. The Hills Have Eyes, 1,000 Corpses. That, I haven't seen that stuff. Not real sure how good it is. So I can't compare them. Some people had a nervous breakdown after seeing The Exorcist when it was at the theater. No shit, Crabman. Yeah, Shelly, Event Horizon is great. That's just a great movie. I hear they're making a sequel finally. They're coming out with another one. I'm surprised they haven't already. If they do it right, it would be awesome. Have good actors, you know. Huh, Shelly? It would be really good. Yeah, that's one of my favorite horror movies, though. I just watched that a couple weeks ago, and my wife was asking me about it, and I was trying to explain it to her, you know. It's a black hole and shit. But she just could, you know, she couldn't understand it. I think she can't. Event Horizon is one of those movies you can't just walk into it in the beginning or in the middle of it somewhere and think you're going to understand. That thing is so twisted and messed up, you've got to watch it from the very beginning to understand what the hell's going on. Right, Shelley? Chadane, we watch Event Horizon a lot. Love Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, I do too. The Matrix and the John Wish, no, whatever the dude's name is, or he's the assassin and shit. I can't think of his name now, but yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's in that one too, and he's in King of New York. I think, is that the one? King of New York, when he's just a young guy, young as shit in King of New York. Puppet Master, grade B horror. Hellraiser with the Sin Eater, freaky. Yeah, Pinhead is badass. Not working anymore. I have caught up on decades of movies and series. Okay, Shannon. Silver Bullet. I don't know. I don't remember that one, Z. I mean, I've seen it, you know. I recognize the name, but I don't remember the movie. So I don't know if I've never seen it or it's just been a long time, Z. You like Nightbreed too? Titanic was a romantic movie till people began getting eaten by sharks. Yeah. Miss Erie, what's up, Miss Erie? Evil Dead movies, yeah. Misery, I like that book, Jeff. That was a really damn good book, Misery. The movie was good too, but they changed some stuff. It was more violent and graphic in the book, and they kind of watered it down, you know, for the movie. Falling Down was a good one, yeah, Crab Man. All right, Tommy, be cool, buddy. Top Tier, Electric Camel, all the Evil Deads. The problem with that though is that Hollywood hasn't gotten much right in years, so here's hoping. Yeah, Shelly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on it. Falling Down was prophetic. Yeah, RR. ZZ Top is playing live tonight in Austin. That's awesome, Disaster Piece. Okay, all this Event Horizon talk, I need to watch it again. Yeah, what a damn good movie, Shannon. Really good. I'm about to watch The Thing, and then I'm probably gonna go watch Alien again, the first one. The sort of companion in Event Horizon in the Mouth of Madness was great as well. Not very scary, but it sure did make me want to smoke in the theater. Gangs of New York, that shit really happened. Did it, OG? I didn't know that. Werewolf digging in his head to give the reporter a piece of his brain. That stuck with me. Yeah. King of New York was a good one. You liked it too, Wirehead? All movies are a little bit prophetic, in your opinion. We're trying to remember our past to prepare for our future. Yeah. And if you think about it, almost all of our stories that are passed down, even our comic books and stuff, they kind of, is that generational kind of knowledge written in our DNA about our past? You know, it's possible, right? Don't you think? It's possible. So yeah, like werewolves. Maybe we had werewolves and vampires and all that stuff in the past. Maybe that stuff really existed. And, you know, superheroes and all that stuff. At some point in the distant past. The one horror movie I could never finish was The Notebook. Just rewatch Gangs in New York. That's a great movie. Yeah, it is, Roz. Diabolical, Miss Erie. Ghost Ship is the story of what really happened on the Titanic. Where's Space Peanut? I didn't see him. You sneaking around, Space Peanut. You snuck in here on me. There he is. What's up, Peanut? They're going to be down a beard. Prophecy movies like with Christopher Walken are creepy as hell. Conveniently forgot about the continued quarters on Gauntlet. In the Mouth of Madness is fantastic. Along with The Thing and The Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter's unofficial Apocalypse trilogy. I haven't seen the other two, Prince of Darkness or The Mouth of Madness. Yeah, I just haven't seen them. I have to check them out. In the past, we thought the future was going to be magical. How very wrong we were. Yeah, Dimu. Yeah, The Fog, another Carpenter classic. The Mist book and movie were good. The Notebook, all over body shivers. Juliette Lewis was the star in Natural Born Killers. Yeah, that was a kick-ass movie. I liked the hell out of that movie. Stories are the oldest form of passing down knowledge, RR. The miniseries Orca was pretty scary, Jaws-like show. Yeah, about the killer whales, Arnis. The Cell was an odd movie. I paid $17 for popcorn and a drink recently. Ridiculous. Disaster piece. I agree, dude. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's one that I never really saw. I never watched that one. Possums are adorable. The Prophecy scared the hell out of me when I was 6. And I'm fairly certain Christopher Walken is actually Gabriel. Also, Viggo Mortensen as the devil is the best on-screen devil in my opinion. All of Carpenter's movies are worth at least one viewing. The town in the fog reminds me of home. Something really creepy about Walken. Yeah. The Deer Hunter. Christopher Walken is creepy. I remember Orca. I don't know. I think Robert De Niro makes the most convincing Satan no matter what he's pretending to be. Probably because he's that way in real life. Who here's seen Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society? Who hasn't seen it? Yeah, I've watched Boys in the Hood many times. I like that movie. Al Pacino can play some convincing characters. Yeah, Crabman. Yeah, he can. Natalie Wood found out about Walken the hard way. Yeah, Christopher Walken, he's always played some crazy-ass characters. Remember him? Wasn't it him in Pulp Fiction? He was the friend of Bruce Willis's dad, and he hid Bruce Willis's watch up his ass for like 5 years, right? Wasn't that Christopher Walken who played that part? American History X, yeah, Kane Corso. Devil's Advocate, yeah, that was a good movie, and he was good in it, RR. The Omen, that was a good one. Warriors, yeah, OG. Great one there. You can see being pals with Christopher Walken. Yeah, I don't know. It might be just me, but I just do not see good horror movies like we had back in the day. You know? Now, they've made a few movies that I really like. Pacific Rim being one of them. The one where... What's the one where Tom Cruise goes back in time over and over again? I forget the name of that one. Minority Report is a good one. Another Tom Cruise movie. So they can make some decent movies, but when they go screwing around with horror movies for some reason, or trying to redo our movies from the 80s, they can't seem to hit the nail on the head, you know? History was good and had a good message if you paid attention. American History X, yeah. if you don't have a gun. A robot is a precursor to the android, but they would have to make up feelings, chip and suffocated positioning brain with neuron and pathways just like data center in Star Trek The Next Generation. Just like data, not data center. Yeah, Sarah. Maze Runner. Yeah. Was Backrooms any good? Yeah, I bet that I'm gonna whoa, just got a little dizzy spell there, just from being tired, overtired. Hillary Clinton scares the unholy shit out of me. Yeah, Crab Man. A robot is a precursor to Android, but they would have to make feelings, chip, and sophisticated positioning brain with neural net with pathways just like data in Star Trek The Next Generation. Yeah, I had to reread that one because my mind was going to sleep on me there. So yeah, like data in the Star Trek The Next Generation. That's probably the kind of android they're shooting for, Sarah. If Christopher Walken invited you hunting, Mike, I wouldn't go. Hell no. Good movies are being made, dim you, just not by Hollywood. Yeah. I mean, there are a few movies that I've liked since the year 2000, but it's just a handful. Not a whole bunch of them. You know what I mean? But a few. When I could, just in the decade of the 80s, I can name dozens and dozens. Vanilla Sky, yeah. Hunger Games, yep. The Mummy 4 looks promising. Yeah, what's his name going to be in that one? The guy from the original Mummy movies? Yeah, just my mind. Yeah, I'm good. My mind was just trailed off there for a minute. Because I was, I guess dizzy wasn't the right word when, Joe. Need blood pressure medication? No, my blood pressure's fine. I'm just running on not a whole lot of sleep. Eat a banana? Yeah. Bruce Willis, man, that guy was cool. Now he's a full boomer. Yeah. Whatever you call that, dementia. Yeah. Miss Erie, yeah, Falling Down was awesome. I watched that a few months ago. Bruce gets a pass for making so many good movies. Yeah, I heard the thing about him he just showed up to a movie and be in one scene like 3 minutes long, and they'd give him a couple million just so they could put his face on the box, on the cover art and say that he was in it. And people were getting pissed off about that. Now we know that he had dementia, number one, and everybody was pissed off, all the actors, because it would take 3 days to do that one scene he was in because he couldn't remember his lines. Think we peaked in 99? I would have to agree with you, Peanut. Yeah. Brendan Fraser, that's the guy's name. Wirehead. Oh, no. Yeah, I just think dizzy was the wrong word. I just kind of spaced off for a minute. That was just the first word that came to mind. That was not a good description of what I was feeling. Vanilla Sky was one of the first movies you owned on DVD. Encino Man, holy shit. Yeah, I forgot about Encino Man, crap, man. It's taking aspirin. Okay, Disaster Piece, I'll try that. Road to Perdition. I've seen that, but I don't really remember too much of it. I've only seen it once. All the original characters are coming back for The Mummy 4. Miss Eerie, yeah, The Thing. Yeah, that's just a wonderful movie. That is an absolute lesson in horror and pacing and creepiness, and just it's almost perfectly done. Movie and music industry are just churning out crap for profit now. Exactly, Dimu. And most of it's all just superhero bullshit, you know? President Trump is a war hero and a patriot. Ads Factor, you're welcome, buddy. Thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate it. Okay, they're ignoring the third one. This will be the official trilogy film to the first two. All right. Pauly Shore, yeah, he's epic. Yeah, he really is. Yep. Yeah, Chadane, he was awesome. Good Will Hunting is in your top 3, OG. Yeah, what a great movie. Yeah, that really was a good movie. Yeah, he was great in Encino Man, Chadane. Original Last House on the Left was pretty dang scary too. Son-in-Law. What about what was the one? Amityville Horror or something like that? Wasn't that the one with the ghost? The haunted house? That one was pretty damn scary. I mean, it wasn't up there, equal to Poltergeist, but it was pretty damn scary. Brendan Fraser did multiple cameos as Link from Encino Man in a few Pauly Shore movies. Oh, no shit? I didn't know that. How would they safeguard physicians' brain from having neurocascades where they would put the stuff off the mechanism from enemies who would give the eye foe to wear the shut-off mechanism? Shit, I don't know. Yeah. To wear the I don't know. Yep. I don't know, Sarah. That's a tough one. John, you are getting banned right after the show. Matt Damon on Mars and he grows potatoes. Yeah, that is a good movie, OG. You hear that guy wrote that book as a blog. He was just writing a blog. And then people were reading it and they told him he needed to publish it as a book. And he did. But it was just a blog he was writing. Yeah, Chadane, it was fantastic. Dracula Untold was a movie that should have done better at the box office when it was all done. Yeah, it was well done. Yes, RR. I was surprised at how good that movie was when I watched it. I expected it to be garbage. Yeah, Dimu. Yeah, I think everyone misses Robin Williams. He was awesome. No one wants Matt Damon's potatoes. How do you like them apples? Yeah, Miss Erie, that's a classic line. I got her number. How you like them apples? I have to admit, Clerks 3 actually made me cry. I wasn't expecting that. Clerks was insanely funny. Normally the ones that make me tear up at all are like war movies. Those are the ones that bring a tear to my eye. Will be war movies. Scanner Darkly, I just watched that one, Shannon. I think yesterday. I just watched the Scanner Darkly yesterday. Yeah. Backrooms 2026 will give you the creeps. The Omen with George Peck is best storyline and most common sense. I think every time these overweight comedians lose weight, they stop being as funny. Witches of Eastwick, I wouldn't eat cherries. I couldn't eat cherries for a couple years afterwards. You thought he was a Ozempic guy? Camel? World According to Garp. Holy shit, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was awesome. Beetlejuice. Yes. Haven't any of y'all seen the sequel? Beetlejuice? It was kind of lame. I didn't like it. I don't give spoilers on Clerks 3. It's a good movie, but I wasn't expecting some of the story. History X was agitprop. The Mrs. Doubtfire trailer reworked as a horror film is hilarious if you haven't seen it. No shit, Kimmel. Yeah, I haven't even heard of that. Do they make romances anymore? I don't know, Chidane. Like romantic comedies and stuff? I guess they do. They must, huh? They're just not as popular like Sleepless in Seattle and stuff. You know, that movie made a whole bunch of money. But I've never heard of another one, you know, anything in that league at all. You haven't seen the second Beetlejuice, John? It's not that great. Von Sydow was amazing in Needful Things. I read that book. I don't remember if I watched the movie or the show. I don't know if it's a TV show or a movie. Trying to cash in on original movies with lame sequels, yeah. American History X taught the rest of the country about curb stomping. Yeah, yeah, dude. Harvard, another good Robin Williams movie. When Harry Met Sally, yeah. Joe versus the Volcano. Pretty much amazing in all his roles, Wirehead. He's a master of his craft. Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Where's your hand? Between two pillows? Those aren't pillows! Yeah, holy shit. That was a funny ass movie, OG. Yeah, Edward Norton's a hell of an actor. Yeah, I agree, Roz. 80s blockbuster was amazing, better than the candy store, as you'd say. but I'd say Lolly Shop. Every Robin Williams movie is a great movie. Same with Mork and Mindy, yeah. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was excellent. Oh, I love that one, Crab Man. When what's his name? Steve Martin's in the wheelchair, and you boy starts switching him across the shins with that switch. Oh, damn, Crab Man, that shit's hilarious. Also, the one remake I endorse is Night of the Living Dead. Maximum Overdrive, Peanut. Yeah. Yeah, when Joe, I can't help it. I keep nodding off. I dread the X-Files reboot. Some of the original episodes stood up straight against many great horror films. Rupert, yeah, Crab Man. Maximum Overdrive was a fun movie. Men at Work, yeah. What about, speaking of that kind of shit, what about Office Space? I love that movie. That's up in my top 3. Office Space is one of the best movies ever made. Cross of Iron is based on Sven Hassel books. Love the books and the film, even though the budget ran out at the end of the movie. Yeah, the bed or the hospital. I'll get some sleep tonight. What's the old saying? I'll get enough sleep when I'm dead, Joe. Almost time for the giveaway, so Jesse can go take a $5. Yeah. Or maybe see a priest, yeah. Yeah, Robert, I love Office Space. I mean, that movie, when it first opens up, the guy's driving and he's in a traffic jam, and the old man's walking with a walker on the sidewalk next to him, and the guy goes back and forth in his car in the traffic jam, trying to move ahead, and he can't. And the old man ends up passing him in the walker, walking. That's one of the funniest scenes in any movie. Don't we have meth down here? Yeah, no, I try not to take it. I should have drank some coffee or something, but coffee really doesn't do it. I can drink, 2-3 cups of coffee and just go right to sleep. It doesn't have much effect on me. Maybe I can get some yellow jackets or something. The only time I'll get enough sleep is when I'm dead, yeah. There comes a time, thief, when the throne room becomes a prison. Jewels cease to sparkle and gold loses its luster, and all it's left is a father's love for his child. Yeah, Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, RR. That was a good line and a good scene. Well, Bob, I just don't care. Yeah, Office Space was just awesome, Robert. I agree. Do the contest so you can go take a nap. Jadane? Well, we're about there anyway. Yeah, okay. So we will. All right. So, again, for everybody who just showing up or showed up afterward, I'll show you again. This is what is going up. The apocalypse wouldn't set me back too far. So, that is what is the prize. Let's see. If you've already won, Wirehead, RR, who else has won? Josh Sees isn't here. Mike Fleisner won. Chris won. So if you've already won, then you can't win again. Not for a while. I don't want the one person to win it 3 times in a row at the very beginning when I just start giving it out. Okay? Other than that, look down in the description of this video if you're interested in the rules of the game, of the contest. But they're pretty simple. YouTube is not affiliated with it. YouTube doesn't give a shit. Number one. Number two, an important thing is it's the first correct answer to pop up on my screen because of lag and, you know, different things. They can pop up in a different order on your screen. So I just have to go by what's on my screen because I can't see your screen. So if it looks different on yours, it's just because of lag and shit, okay? But I have to go by what's on my screen. Other than that, look at the damn down in the description. There's a link there, genxthinks.com, and you can go read the rules if you want to. All right. So let's see. Oh, the other thing is try to give me your address as soon as the live stream ends, okay? And here is my email address. All right, Jesse@genxthinks.com. That's the email address. And if you win, please email me your physical address where you want the shirts shipped as soon as we're done here. That way I can send it out tomorrow morning. I mean, technically you have 48 hours to get me the address, but then it's up, you know, anybody's guess as to when I'll be able to send it. But if you get me the address right away, I'll be able to send it out tomorrow morning and you can get it sooner, okay? Oh, I'll just leave that up there for a little while. All right, so everybody ready? The answer is 42, Jeff. Yep, every answer is 42, isn't it, Jeff? We already knew it ahead of time. All right, 43, Z. Okay, here is the question. What quirky, off-kilter band got its name from the bouffant-style hairdos its female members wore on stage? All right, I'll read it again. What quirky, off-kilter band got its name from the bouffant-style hairdos its female members wore on stage? All right. Inquiring minds want to know. Another thing is that you need to send me your size. Crabman B52. Yes, it is the Crabster, the Crabmeister. Yep, Crabman. You got it, buddy. So here is the address, Crabman, the email address. Send me your physical address and the size of shirt you want. This is what you won. You just send me the size you want, buddy. All right? Crabman. Yeah, congratulations, Crabman. Okay. So, let's see. Now that Crabman is the big winner, I will say goodbye to Mike Fleisner, RR, Wayne Beatty, Big Country, OG Tango, Chidane, Miss Erie, Wenjo, Muskogeeland, Wayne Beatty, Arnis, RR, Z, Raziel Appollyon. Goodbye. AWOL Stu, goodbye AWOL. Jeff 7. Did I say Wayne Beatty already? Wirehead. Crabman, of course, our big winner. OG Tango. Dog Karma. John. Shannon. Robert. All right. Who else here? Who else? Electric Camel. Peanut. Cane Corso. Did I already say OG? I think I said OG Tango, didn't I? OG gets 2 goodbyes. He's that awesome. All right. So, I think I got everybody. If I missed your name, I apologize. But goodbye to you as well. AWOS to Rex Chaoticus. Rex Chaoticus. All right. And I am going to send the spiel dedication. Let's do Disaster Piece Theater. All right. So, in case you are unaware, Disaster Piece Theater, just like back in the 70s and 80s, when they used to dedicate songs to each other on the radio, I dedicate this spiel to you, Disaster Piece. Thank you so much for being a part of Gen X Stinks. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for, spending your time here. Your time is valuable to me. So I really do want to thank you sincerely for spending that time with Gen X Stinks. So, and sharing your life-earned wisdom with us here and making Gen X Stinks just a better place. So thank you so much, Disaster Piece. I truly, truly thank you and appreciate your time, man. So, straight out of, let's go with 1982, Disaster Piece. 1982. I was 11. And that is when I actually drove on I-10 from Mobile, Alabama to Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Interstate 10 at the age of 11. My dad passed out drunk in the passenger seat next to me. Yeah, that's a true story. So yeah, it was adventurous. Yeah, maybe not the most fun year of my life, but it was definitely one for the books. I hope your 1982 was as memorable as mine. Maybe not in the same way, but as memorable. So thank you so much, Disaster Piece. Thanks to all of you, and congratulations again, Crabman. And let's see. As always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one. Damn, I thought that guy would never shut up. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there, or you can head over to Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that, and I'll leave that link down in the description as well. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there. Redbubble, Gen X Stinks, and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. That's where I got my Thundar the Barbarian t-shirt. But I'll put that link down in the description too. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out one hell of a lot, so thank you very much to those of you who do that. Also, we have the Discord channel now, so if you want to continue the discussion over there on Discord, I'll put that link down in the description as well. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you who support Gen X Stinks with your time or your money. It's all appreciated. I value your time just as much as I do anything else, so thank you, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you.